Welcome to Originals Tea. Premium tea manufacturer since 2019. Do tea leaves repel insects? Who does not like a cup of freshly brewed tea? The irresistible aroma, the unique flavor brings up a calming and refreshing thought to your mind, right? No wonder tea is such a celebrated beverage across the globe. You have probably heard about Camellia Sinensis, the tea tree. It is this evergreen shrub that brings tea leaves to your doorsteps, of course, after stages of processing. Tea leaves give you the magical infusion of tea, right? But the leaves are so much more than just the beverage. The applications of tea leaves reach far beyond than just tea. Tea leaves can help ease your tasks in various household applications. Regardless of what you do with the tea leaves after the infusion, you should know how to deal with them. You will not only be able to discard tea leaves correctly, but it will also help you in many unimaginable ways. Tea leaves are a great addition to your garden kit. But how exactly can it help you with? Tea leaves work as excellent fertilizers. It is because of the presence of nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium in abundant quantities which enable a plant to grow. But what else can they help with? Can tea leaves deter cats? Can the leaves help get rid of unwanted plants and insects? Do tea leaves repel insects? Yes, tea leaves are excellent insect repellent. Several varieties of insects are known to detest the smell of tea leaves. Strategically placing tea leaves in your garden can help repel insects, pests, and even smaller animals. The smell of burnt tea leaves are also known to repel mosquito. Tea leaves are one of the most valuable additions which must be a regular part of your garden kit. Tea leaves can not only successfully deter slugs and other worms, or some common garden animals bugging your plant, but it can also act as an excellent insect repellent. So, how does this happen? How to utilize the most out of your tea leaves? To begin with, tea leaves are packed with several nutrients and compounds, which are very beneficial both for you, when you consume it, and for plants and soil, after you decide to discard the tea leaves. How so? Needless to say, tea contains caffeine. Caffeine is the most widely consumed proactive drug in the world, which is mostly unregulated across the globe. Caffeine has lots of effects on the human body. Tea contains a fair dose of caffeine which is vastly beneficial for human health and the primary reason for tea to be such a refreshing and energetic beverage. Caffeine helps you calm down. It enables you to increase attentiveness and vastly increase productivity in the process. Tea also contains a fair amount of tannins. Tannins are responsible for giving the tea the taste of tea, quite interestingly. Tannins too have a great deal of impact in human health, primarily positive results. What are tannins? Tannins are a yellowish or brownish bitter-tasting organic substance present in some galls, barks, and other plant tissues. Tannins come naturally in tea plants. Tannins are partly responsible for the bitterness that tea generally exhibits. Good enough. You are convinced that tea does help with lots of processes in the human body. But that's it? Well, quite frankly, no. Once you are done with consuming tea and feeling all refreshed, healthy and happy, you would want to discard the tea leaves to get it done with. Naturally, it ends up in a pile of trash. But instead of going for discarding the leaves, you can make it work in quite productive ways. The best use of tea leaves after its consumption is undoubtedly in your garden. Tea leaves, or rather used tea leaves, serve a variety of functions in your fancy little garden. From deterring disturbing animals to replenishing nutrients to your soil, the tiny pellets of tea leaves have got it all covered. Tea leaves as insect repellent. There are several insects and worms which hate the smell of tea. Yes, the same beverage you crave for is unnaturally repelling to several little organisms. Studies show that tea can effectively repel insects that would otherwise eat your plants. Regular plant growers often use this property for protecting their crops against pesky insects. Tea leaves are often used in combination with lavender. Lavender is a well-known variety of flower which is known to repel several insects. This comes pretty handily when you are looking for a cheaper alternative to insect repellents. You can add up some lavender along with your tea leaves to get your work done with ease. How to make an effective insect repellent? After you are done using your tea leaves, do not discard them. Take the tea leaves and wash it over properly for some time. Let the tea leaves dry up for a day or two. Once the leaves are completely dry, transfer the tea leaves into a clean container. You may want to use natural insect repellents, such as lavender, along with the tea leaves. In that case, sprinkle some dry lavenders into your container and keep it aside. However, you may not necessarily use them. The odor of tea leaves is not particularly appealing to many insects naturally. Dig small trenches in your garden strategically and put some of your magical mixes into the trenches and cover the holes. That should be enough to keep away most of the insects from harming your precious crops. In the case of tea bags, dry the used tea bags first. Once done, cut out a small portion from the tea bag and add some lavender if you want. The bags act similar to the process described above. Keeping these bags will surely drive away from most pests and insects from your garden. Other uses of tea leaves in your garden. Yes, undoubtedly impressive. But that's not all that tea has to offer in your garden. Unwanted pests, insects and smaller animals are often a nuisance for you. Dried up used tea leaves or even tea bags come handy in such situations as well. Tea leaves can come handy while controlling unwanted visitors in the form of furry cats in your garden. Feral animals like cats can often be a big problem for your lovely garden. They will often destroy plants or vegetables you have planted with care. Cats especially tend to drop their waste in between plants. This can be a big problem for the gardener. However, the solution to this big problem might not necessarily be as big, rather, a small tea bag, or little amount of tea leaves, can help solve this. Worms like earthworms are not a big fan of tea leaves as well. It is said that worms are not very fond of the scent of tea leaves. Other insects too maintain their distance from tea leaves. The smell of tea leaves prevents the vermin from eating the plants. Similarly, cats dislike the smell of tea leaves and will poop or pee lesser in your garden. Tea bags can do the trick if put to use properly. Tea bags, if buried in soil, will prevent insects or other pests from attacking your garden. The odor of the tea bag will repel bigger animals like cats too. These leaves not only help you in deterring these unwanted visitors, but it also provides all-round nourishment to the soil. Tea bags are generally made of banana leaves. These make the tea bags biodegradable. You can thus bury your tea bags guilt-free. The tea bags and the tea contents will vanish with time, so dump your bags inside your ground without worrying about it. The tea contents inside the bag also work as natural compost. Tea leaves will, therefore, not only nourish you during your drink but can feed your garden soil after you are done using it. Similarly, the burning smell of tea leaves is known to repel the unanimously voted most irritating thing to ever exist. Yes, you guessed it right, a mosquito. Mosquitoes are known to detest the scent of burnt tea leaves. Burning tea leaves give a smell that repels the domestic pests. So the next time when mosquitoes tease you, you know what to pick up. Put some dried tea leaves in a burning candle, and you are all set. An essential oil would also be a valuable addition. The scent of burnt tea leaves have a calming effect on people and promotes concentration. The addition of essential oil will make it into a great room freshener as well. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching.